back to another session of tissues. So guys, we have already completed plant tissues. We started from your meristematic tissues, permanent tissue. We studied in meristematic tissue the apical meristrum, the lateral meristrum and intercalary meristrum. Then we read about the permanent tissue, simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. What we read in simple permanent tissue? Yes, of course. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissue, we discussed the xylem and phloem. And today we are going to enter into animal tissues. Yes, today's session is completely dedicated to animals and the tissue which are present inside us, inside animals. Yes, animal tissue guys. There are 4 different types of animal tissues. Yes, there are how many types of animal tissues? 4 different types of animal tissue which we will be learning in the coming sessions. The 4 different types of animal tissues. What are the 4 different types of animal tissues? The first one, epithelial tissues. Yes guys, the first type of animal tissue is epithelial tissues. The second one is connective tissues. Third one is your nervous tissue. And fourth one is your muscular tissue. Yes, how many types of animal tissues we need to learn? 4 types of animal tissues are there. The first one, epithelial tissues. The second one, connective tissues. Third one, nervous tissues. And the fourth one, muscular tissues. One by one, we will cover all this. Yes, once again, how many types of animal tissue guys? 4 types of animal tissues. That too, epithelial tissue. What is the first one? Epithelial tissues. Second one, connective tissues. Third one, nervous tissues. Fourth one, muscular tissues. So let's begin with the first one, epithelial tissues. Yes. Yes guys, epithelial tissues. Just go back and recall about the protective tissues we read. Protection. We read 2 types of protective tissue in plants. Isn't it? Isn't it we read about epidermis and cork cells? Yes guys. The 2 types of protective tissue in case of your plants were epidermis and cork. In animals also needs protections. Our body needs protection. Who gives that protection? Yes, in animals, the protection is provided by epithelial tissue. Yes, I asked you in my previous class that, yes, what is that organ which covers our body? And you easily answered it as skin. Of course, skin is the outer covering of animal body. But what is the skin made up of? How does it provide protection to the internal organs of our body? Yes, so let's see how this skin is made up of. What type of tissue it is made from? Yes, so the protective tissue in case of animals is epithelial tissues. Yes guys, so epithelial tissues main function is protection. Yes, in case of your plants, we read about epidermis and cork, they provide protection. But in case of animals, this epithelial tissues provides us protection. So let's see what is there in the epithelial tissue and how it provides protection to us. Yes, the first point is the covering or protective tissue in animal body. Yes, that's what we are learning now. It's provide protection. It's a covering. Skin is there, that is covering. And what is that skin made up of? That skin is made up of epithelial tissue. Yes, so what is ultimate function of it? Its ultimate function is nothing but covering. To cover our internal organs, to protect. Just like the plant tissues, in animal tissues, this epithelial tissues gives the protection. Yes, there we read that epidermal cells and the cork cells provides the protection to plants. And here in animal tissues, these epithelial cells or these epithelial tissues provides the protection. Because our skin is made up of epithelial tissues and we know skin is the outer covering of the animal body and it provides protection. So what is the first characteristic feature? It's a covering or protective tissue in animal body. Yes, it's a covering or protective tissue to remember is that the cells of epithelial tissues are very compactly present, very tightly packed. That means there will be no intercellular spaces. And I told you what are intercellular spaces. Yes? So the cells are tightly packed. In the plant cells even I told you that if there are spaces in between the cells, then any material can come inside it and will remain there. Then how come the protection it will provide? No chance. It cannot provide protection if spaces are there. If spaces are there in between the cells, how come it will provide protection? Any material can come inside, any material can go outside, and any material can remain in between the cells. So there are no chances of giving protection. Yes, so to prevent this, to avoid this, the cells are closely packed, the cells are compactly packed, the cells are tightly packed. And once the cells are tightly packed, guys, no intercellular spaces are there. No space is there in between the cells in order to provide the protection. Yes, no intercellular spaces are there. Now, the cells form a continuous sheet. Yes, guys, the cells of epithelial tissues forms a continuous sheet. What is continuous sheet? Just like your sheet of a paper, or you can compare it with. I can tell you, you can compare it with your floor. Yes, and you have seen our floor are made up of tiles. Yes, one above the above tiles are placed? No, not at all. Yes, a single layer of tiles are there or not? A single membrane, a single layer is there or not? So, cell forms a continuous sheet. You can see here. Yes, you can see in the picture over here. The cell forms a continuous sheet-like structure, just like your tiles of the floor. A continuous single sheet of cell is present. And where these sheet of cells located? On the surface of basement membrane. Basement membrane. Yes, guys. So this is the basement membrane. The black colored one is the basement membrane. And where do all these cells lie? These cells lie over the basement membrane. Understood? A single sheet. Epithelial cells are a single continuous sheet, and these cells are located on the surface of a basement membrane. Yes, guys. This one is your basement membrane. Can you see? Yes. This one is the basement membrane. The cells are located on the surface of basement membrane. An additional point I am going to tell you. This basement membrane helps in the absorption of your water and nutrients and bloods. Yes. So this basement membrane helps in the easy absorption of the nutrients. Yes, guys, remember, so these cells are very tightly packed, very compactly packed. Why tightly packed? Because to provide protection. Yes, that's what we are dealing now, to provide protection. So all the cells are compactly present, no intercellular spaces are there, and the cells are a continuous single sheet. And where do this sheet of cells located? On the surface of your basement membrane. Yes, where it is located? On the surface of basement membrane. Basement membrane helps in the easy absorption of the nutrient. So, no intercellular spaces, epithelial tissues are laid on the basement membrane. Got it? What characteristic these epithelial tissues shows? The very first thing is covering or protective tissue. Yes, that we know. It provides protection. It provides a covering to the internal structure of our body. Secondly, the cells are tightly packed, compactly packed. No intercellular spaces are there. It forms a continuous sheet, and that sheet of cells are located on the basement membrane. You can see over very clearly the nucleus are visible. Yes, these cells have very clear nucleus. Yes, inside it the cytoplasm are also present. Cell, of course. Cell has got nucleus and cytoplasm. That we read in the first lesson, the fundamental unit of life. So this is what the single seat of cells located on the basement membrane. Understood the structure? Now let's move on to the functions performed by epithelial tissue. The first very basic function, of course, we all know, protection. Yes guys, protection. Yes, the main function is protection. From what? From what it will provide protection to our or animal body? From injury. Yes, it provides protection from injury, from infection or any kind of damage. Yes, the very important function the epithelial tissue perform is to provide protection. What it do? It provide protection from any kind of injury, from any kind of damage, from any kind of infection. Yes, the most important function is to provide protection. From where? From where it provides injury, damage, infection. What is the main work of epithelial tissue? To provide protection from infection, injury, damage. Yes. Now let's move on to the second function of epithelial tissue. It forms a lining of mouth and alimentary canal. It forms, listen to me very carefully to the sentence. It forms a inner lining. Yes, it forms an inner lining of mouth and alimentary canal. Of mouth and alimentary canal. First of all, we are speaking about outer covering. Now comes a new term called inner lining. What is it? What is the lining and what is outer covering? What is lining? Yes, first let me clear out to that. Okay. Suppose, before it, let me tell you what is alimentary canal. Esophagus. Have you come across the word esophagus? Yes. Whenever we are taking any food stuff, yes, we break it inside our mouth. We chew the food and we swallow the food. Once we swallow the food, yes, once we swallow the food, it will enter into a long tube-like structure. Yes, and that long tube-like structure, which you also call food pipe, is called esophagus. Yes, it will pass through esophagus, it will reach our stomach, then to small intestine, then to large intestine, then to rectum, anus. So all these organs beginning from the engulfing of the beginning from esophagus till rectum, it is called alimentary canal. Yes guys, this thing you will be learning in 10th class. What is alimentary canal, what are esophagus? Esophagus is actually the passage of the food pipe. When you are taking the food inside your mouth, you chew the food thoroughly, you swallow the food, yes, and that food pass into a long tube-like structure. That food will pass into the long tube-like structure, and that tube-like structure is called esophagus. Yes, now the food reaches the stomach, where the digestion process takes place, and from there it enters into small intestine, then from large intestine, then to rectum, anus. Yes, these all your food pipe, your stomach, your large intestine, your small intestine, rectum, anus, all togetherly called as your alimentary canal. Understood what is alimentary canal? Done. So what we were speaking? This epithelial tissue forms the inner lining of alimentary canal. I told you alimentary canal, inner lining. Suppose this is an esophagus. Suppose this is an esophagus. Yes guys, suppose this is an esophagus, or suppose this is a tube. If I am going to coat the inner side of the tube with my any nail paint. Yes, if I am going to coat the inner side of the tube with my any nail paint, coating, inner lining, then that is called as your inner lining. That is called inner lining. And if I am do the coating, if I am painting the outer side of the tissue or outside side of the tube, yes, then it is called as your outer covering, protective layer, that is called outer lining or outer covering. Now clear guys? When there is a coating inside, when there is a coating from inside, then it is called as inner lining. When there is coating from outside, then it is called as outer covering. And here this epithelial tissue's main function, that it forms the inner lining inside the mouth and alimentary canal. What is the alimentary canal? Just now I told you. Esophagus, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, rectum, anus, all together called as alimentary canal. So the inner lining, our esophagus is also made up of your epithelial tissues, and the inner lining of mouth and the alimentary canals are lined by epithelial tissue. Clear? Now, the another important function it performs is absorptions of the material. Since it is lying over a very nice basement membrane, it helps in absorption of some nutrient. It also secretes also. It also secretes also. Secretion is also. It will produce also some producers. How? I told you. There is a lining in the mouth. Yes, mouth will produce mucus. Salivary glands are there. It is also lined with your epithelial tissue, means definitely saliva is produced. Yes, sweat glands are there. Secretions are there. So it will produce sweat. Isn't it? So it helps in absorption, it helps in secretion of some product, and it helps in elimination of the waste. We sweats. Excess of salt is removed from our body. Who does this activity? Of course, our epithelial tissues. Yes, guys. So, what are the functions it performs? It functions here. It provides protection from injury. It provides protection from damage. It provides protection from any kind of infection. Yes, it forms the internal coating, inner lining of mouth and alimentary canal. Done. And it helps in absorption, secretion and elimination of the waste products. Hope you understood the structure and the functions performed by epithelial tissue. Now let's move on to the types of epithelial tissue. Yes guys, now let's discuss about the types of epithelial tissues. Now let's move on to the types of epithelial tissues. Yes. So the first type is your squamous epithelial tissues. Yes guys, today in this session we will be discussing only on squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue, mostly present in mouth. Yes, squamous epithelial tissues. Now let's see how are the cells of squamous epithelial tissues. Yes, how are the cells of squamous epithelial tissues? The cells are very thin. Yes, the cells which forms the squamous epithelial tissues are extremely thin. What is the structure? It can be that structure only. I and you can't change that. Yes, whatever the structure jo hai, so hai. We can't do anything. So, the cells are extremely thin of squamous epithelial tissues, and the cells are flat. Yes, the cells are flat. That it is called, kya bolte hai use? Chapta. Yes, the cells are thin and flat and irregular shape. It may be any shape. Yes, it may be oval, it may be elongated shapes. The cell may be of any shape, irregularly shaped. Yes, so what is the structure of a squamous epithelial tissues? Simply thin walled cells, very extremely thin cells. Yes, extremely thin, irregular shaped of cells. There is no definite shape of the cells. The cells are irregular in shapes and flat cells. Yes, what you have to mention in case of squamous epithelial tissue, the cells are thin, the cells are flat and the cells are irregular. Once again, the cells are thin, flat, irregular. Yes, how are the cells of squamous epithelial tissue? The cells of squamous epithelial tissues are thin, flat, irregular. Do remember it. Thin, flat, irregular structure of cells are present in squamous epithelial tissues. It's again of two types, guys. Yes, this squamous epithelial tissue is again of two types. The first one, simple squamous tissue, and the second one is your stratified squamous tissue. Yes, how many types of squamous epithelial tissue? Please don't get confused. Make a flow chart. You can easily understand it. Yes. So, what are the two types of squamous epithelial tissues? The two types of squamous epithelial tissues are a simple squamous tissue, stratified squamous tissue. What are the two types of squamous epithelial tissue? Simple. First one is your simple squamous tissue and the second one is your stratified squamous tissue. Yes. Simple squamous tissue, stratified squamous tissue. Yes. Simple squamous tissue and stratified squamous tissue. Yes, guys. Simple. It's very easy to understand. Yes, guys. Simple. Single layer of cells. Yes. Simple squamous tissues are made up of a single layer of cells. I gave you the example of tiles on your floor. It's made up of single layer of cells. Same. Simple squamous tissues are made up of single layer of cells. Only a single layer. You can see here. Single layer of cells which is on the basement membrane. Yes, it is made up of a single layer of cells. It's simple, na? Simple forms single. Single layer of cells which lies on the basement membrane. Yes, and it forms a very delicate lining. Yes. Simple squamous tissues forms a very delicate lining in mouth and esophagus. What is inner lining? I told you right now. Yes, when there is a coating from inside, that is called inner lining. Yes, that is called inner lining when it is coated from inside. And this simple squamous tissues forms the inner coating or inner lining in mouth and esophagus. What is esophagus? I told you. When the food passes food pipe. Yes, the simple squamous tissues are found in mouth and esophagus. So, it's very simple to understand. Simple squamous tissue. Now, what is this stratified? What is the stratified squamous tissue? What is stratified? Simply layers. When the cells are arranged in layers. Just, we all have eaten cakes having different layers with different flavors. Did you all enjoy it or not? Yes, we all enjoy layers of cakes with different flavors. Same here. Yes, same here. The cells are arranged in layer forms. For example, this is a cell, this is a cell, this is a cell. Above it, another layer of cell. Above it, another layer of cells. This layer of cells are called as your stratified squamous tissue. Yes, guys, what is stratified squamous tissue? When the cells are arranged in layers. When the cells are arranged in layers, it is called stratified squamous tissue. Yes, and it prevents wear and tear. Yes, scratches, prevents from any scratches wounds. So, it prevents wear and tear. And the most best example is skin. Squamous epithelial tissue is mostly the inner lining of skin. So, our skin is made up of stratified squamous tissue. So, whoever and wherever, if a person is going to ask you what our skin is made up of, then immediately you need to respond that our skin is made up of stratified squamous tissue. Yes, guys, our skin is made up of stratified squamous tissue. Hope guys you understood today's sessions. We discussed about animal tissues, epithelial tissues, the type of epithelial tissue is squamous epithelial tissue and the simple squamous epithelial tissue and the stratified squamous tissue. Don't get confused. Go through it properly and I know you are going to learn it very soon. Until then, keep safe, yes, and revise properly. Bye.